Please. For prayer and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance. Praise God, our Heavenly Father. Again, we thank you, Lord, for this day, and we thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you would just be with us today, help us to make the right decisions. Heavenly Father, we ask that you'll be with our employees at the courthouse. We ask you to be with the first responders, watch over them and protect them. Lord, again, just give us the knowledge, and we'll give you the glory in Jesus' name. Amen. Flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We may be seated. Thank you. Okay. Members present, all three commissioners.
You want to be part of a packed house?
Yeah. Call meeting to order, ask for approval of the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. The highway invite, and the letter of interest for, well, the letter of resignation from Eileen for the first committee, and then the letter from Brian Hentry to be added, and then under new business, we had the Comcast deed application
Yeah.
and the county clerk financial, and, Roger, you would ask for Ryan Imperio about the
Yes,
voters
I
being
want
on
to just
there.
go over that, yes.
And then we're gonna finalize the public test as soon as we're done here.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, and then text me commission.
Okay, can we get the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting?
I move we approve the minutes.
I approve that also. Okay, we'll hold their account payable until the end. And the states, exonerations in the state. Okay, before we get into correspondence, Joel Whitner is here with the architect. And he wanted a few minutes to talk about some storage areas, issues.
Well, I think we were able to get that resolved, not knowing that there's gonna be possible storage at the courthouse once it's finished. And even the Brakeman building,
Okay, so I
so,
think we have this resolved.
I think so.
We'll probably put eyes on the storage that they have and make sure that that's like stuff they need to be daily or weekly access, but other than that, the long-term storage, we probably have a solution for.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Is there a reason I would be so fast? You had something else you said about the dividers.
Oh, yeah, the dividers,
Maybe I'm ready for it.
the dividers for the ladies working in the tax office. I know, he had mentioned that there's dividers on the outside, on the public side. There also needs to be some on the inside and ample.
Like the movable petition.
But potentially make it permanent, but basically something that just mounts between each of the workstations. And then maybe working something either to have a return on the side or for more storage and
Each one has their own printer.
printer. So we'll need to verify what their needs are there and look that out, but that's minor. We can.
All right. Okay. No, we don't need to.
Short goes in.
Okay, thank you. That's it? Everything good? Okay, let's move down to correspondence, Office of the Sheriff, September 2024 report.
Lauren, in the minutes, that cyber grant under my report, the .org, the .gov is just one piece of it. It also includes like a couple of managed switches, and some network storage devices and some things like that. So
Yeah, I didn't list all of it.
if you just want to add to that, like, and various network hardware. So people don't think we're paying $14,000 to switch. But it's just, it's basic, there's a lot of network hardware included.
Who's that taking place?
The grant,
No, the change.
I have no idea. I've spoken to them about it, but they are doing
After the
all,
first year.
oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh. There you go. I do that with my hair cuts, that's why I got that.
That's the stuff.
Set it real low.
That's the style, I think.
I'm on my hair, Roger, is it okay? It looks good.
Okay.
That's good.
Can't even ask you about mine because I don't have any.
I didn't even get there.
Oh, you're good.
Well, this morning too, I couldn't be running the roll.
Okay, West Virginia Division of Corrections Rehabilitation, credit debit memo, we have a credit,
Was that how much in the zone you all approved minutes?
what? We approved the minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, I was
Using all the.
really out of there.
Yeah, we approved the minutes, yeah. Did you have any questions or?
Oh, no, that's just the top line now.
He was in the zone, you didn't realize you just changed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anyhow, we had a credit for $321.79, which is always good.
And then the debit, 159.70.
That's not so good. Okay, Northrop Grumman, we have a notice of class 1 permit modification, which they send us these all the time. Really, we have no
They're just for public review.
Yeah, they're just for public
review.
information. Region 8 solid waste notice for meeting, gonna be passed. We had it last Friday, last Thursday.
That's actually,
I wanted to go to that, Roger.
you did,
No, I'm just messing.
there won't be no more to January, solid waste. Unless they call for a special or something.
Okay, the Department of Highways invites us to a meeting on November 1st. On behalf of West Virginia Department of Transportation, I would like to personally invite you to an informative meeting with District 5 personnel and central office management. The goal of this meeting will be to distribute and discuss information concerning the Division of Highway and District 5. Materials will be distributed including fact sheets, mileage and type of roads, summary of budget, staffing programs, general fund surplus project status, and I'll also have staff present that can address any specific question that we may ask. The invitation will be also sent to other elected officials within the counties. This is Friday, November the 1st, starting at 11 o'clock, the South Branch Inn in Romney.
Do they do that every year? Is that something new?
Well, normally they do it at this district office.
Yeah, at the office. You guys going?
Well, I'd like to.
I plan to.
Okay,
First, do we need-
put it in there.
That's South Branch Inn in Romney now.
Yeah. At 11 o'clock. Okay, letter from the Community Corrections, directed to Mr. Staggs. This letter expresses my interest in serving on the Mineral County First Committee. Currently employed at Mineral County Community Corrections, I have dedicated approximately 15 years to working with the substance abuse population. As a West Virginia licensed professional counselor, I specialize in addiction treatment, delivery while pursuing my master's science degree in counseling plus psychology. I am confident that my expertise and experience would make me a valuable asset to the committee. That's signed Brian Hinchy.
I need to do what I gave you. There you go.
Right there.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, this one, I gave him a copy.
okay.
That's next on your agenda.
I thought I had it there. Okay. Next on the agenda, dear County, Mineral County First Committee, I am writing to formally resign from my position of the committee effective immediately. After careful consideration, I believe that my role as a representative for multiple agencies could be perceived as a conflict of interest. While I'm deeply passionate about our mission, I recognize that there are individuals better equipped to make the decisions and recommendations necessary for effective grant funding. I have great faith in the committee's ability to continue its important work. Signed, Eileen Singledecker. Okay. Mission ordered correspondence.
Previous letters sent to Mr. Staggers and New Creek Public Service regarding his appointment to the board.
Okay. And, I spoke with. Oh, shoot. I'll tell you here in a minute. I am. I didn't sleep very good last night. This is a rough day, yeah. But that's okay, it'll get better. It'll get better. Okay. Moving on down. What happens when you get old? Okay, we're down to board appointments. Do I have a motion to approve Brad Henchy for Mineral First Committee?
So I second that.
I approve that also. You don't have any others that I know of.
No.
Steve Rexroad asked me, he hadn't received a letter stating when,
Yeah, brought that up last time,
okay,
which reminds me, on that note, Val did do a FOIA request and officially why you would not consider her for the board.
the reason that we,
People do FOIAs with questions, but that's not even what a FOIA is for. A
No,
FOIA is for
no.
official documentation that's already been produced. A FOIA can't be used to force someone to answer a question. It's only for documentation that's already been produced previously. I mean, I think you guys know where an answer. However, that's not what a FOIA is for. That's not a. It's for
the reason we did
documentation.
not choose her was felt that Steve was better fitted for that position. She's experienced.
I think someone needs to call her. And that's all she wants.
Well, I'll give Steve, I don't
I'll
have her
call.
number.
No, not Steve, Allie.
You give me her.
I'll happily give you her number. I've got it.
I'll call
I was gonna let Steve call.
him. No, don't listen to Okay, we have an update on Courthouse Annex Improvement Project and approved drawdown payment number 19 for the total. For this draw will be $435,140.68.
I just gave it to Cindy yesterday afternoon, but there were two more invoices that were added to that. They were Tom's. It was for another $6,300 or something. It was for 2 months worth of admin, so.
Okay, give me her phone number and I'll call her. You have it.
Motion on the drawdown.
That's all we can do today, isn't it? Just a drawdown?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
need to approve the drawdown.
And all the invoices, you guys, they're in there. I
The
just,
invoice is already here,
Oh, okay.
but since
Okay,
it's
do I have a motion to approve?
$435,000, you should really have a motion.
We have a motion to approve drawdown number 19 for a total of $435.
So moved. I second that.
$140.68. That's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. They do.
Courthouse update.
Are you working
Oh,
for free?
sorry.
Some days. Volunteering your time?
Some days I get paid.
okay. So, as far as courthouse update, things are moving along. Family court suite is 95%. Honestly, most of what Jeremiah, what Fairchance needed to do has been completed. there's just minor touch-ups from them. The security system side is kind of what we're trying to get through. Server racks have been installed upstairs. The phone system is live.
We're
Which
still
is,
having problems with our phones.
he said he was ordering a new switch to put in.
It's really bad timing, the voters are calling and we're trying to call voters and they think, you know, we can hear them, they can't hear us. Then I call them back and they think it's a scammer and then they won't answer when we call back and we call back and we call back and we call back.
Yeah, Frank said they were ordering a new switch to replace the main switch. So, but the server racks are up. I had Chris from Global in last week to look over everything. He brought down the rest of the majority of the equipment we're gonna need for the switchover. P3 still has to terminate the Cat 6. But that's only like 2 days worth of work. Once we get the security stuff done, we'll work on that. Drywall is mostly finished upstairs. They have been working on painting. Allegedly, they're putting ceilings in this week or next. But there's, he's still saying first or second week in November, we'll be able to start moving people in there. But we shall see. And we've got
At the
the
Masters Court, right, up top. You
the
all,
courthouse annex.
that's what I mean, yeah, upstairs, and what officers will move first, you think?
It'll either be Jill or the sheriff. I'm not sure which. We haven't coordinated that. Jill's getting new furniture, so I figure it'll probably kind of depend on when her furniture is delivered and stuff, on who we move first, but
Whenever, I've been trying to clean out some stuff, so whenever we can start moving my file cabinets. We can do that first. My desk should be here within 2 to 3 weeks.
okay. That hopefully that timing will line up perfectly then. This time though, and I've said a couple times, and I've said it to you, we've, like the law enforcement center and then family court, we moved people in while they were still working. And it has been a huge pain. So we are definitely gonna wait till the building has been punch listed and it is truly substantially complete before we move people in. So I'm really hoping mid-November though, and we're definitely just gonna move one office at a time. Chris definitely can do something with the network, so it's in both places. There'll be some kinks to work out, but, as soon as.
So are we gonna close the courthouse or close the office that you're moving?
I mean, we're gonna have to, there's no,
Yeah, we're
at least for one day, we have to, but.
You move yours, if you close it.
I wouldn't do it over a day.
I would think,
If you get some help,
because we're not moving our desk.
yeah,
That's
right,
gonna help a lot.
The big,
So,
the biggest thing will just be GST getting the stuff online in the other building. Cause we'll have to move all the computer equipment and then it shouldn't be a huge deal, but it also might be, you never know how it's
We
going
should
on.
probably get some stuff in the paper about possible delays once we have a better idea.
Couldn't we keep
Yeah,
the
that's what we
office,
just need
couldn't
to
we keep
know.
the office open with just a phone line? At least to tell people when they call.
Well, I mean, the phones would still ring, but even the physical phones get picked up and moved and they have to be
I think
moved
we'll
on the network.
put it out for notice, I think that would be a good idea.
Oh, yeah, once we know, I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
think we're still, like, to even try to pretend like we have a solid date. Jeremiah feels sure, but
I know when you step over there, it still seems to be a lot.
there's a lot, that's what Dutch and I were talking about yesterday, there's a lot of fine work to be completed
There's still a lot
now.
of soft spots in the floor.
Well, I think there's some, yeah, there's a lot of work to be finished over there, for sure. They still have a lot of stuff to do.
Now, what are they gonna be doing about the soft spots in the floor?
I haven't noticed.
You haven't noticed? What?
I mean, I know that there's pieces where like the glue on they put down and like the corners have come up. I just assume they're gonna
There,
re-secure
yeah, I
that.
mean, there is corners where the plywood's not down,
Right,
like where they're finishing out there, but out in the main floor, I haven't really noticed anything.
Yeah, I think one spot's like right when you walk into the lunchroom, it just kind of feel a soft spot.
Not lately.
I have to look, see if they, if that's one of them they fastened down yet or not. There were some that they worked around. Like, the fasteners to lay that plywood down, they had missed. So if there's still one out there in the middle of space, well. Where was that?
That's just one sticks out in my mind, we were walking in and I was like, whoa, because I didn't know how soft the spot was, but, so I told Cindy, I said, walk around that.
In.
The lunchroom, go right to the lunchroom.
All right. I'll check.
Can we go up in it today?
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on.
Was there-
Anything, huh?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, we had approval of the drawdown, update on park projects, Lorenum, and we authorization to advertise and request for bids for Lorenum Park Amphitheater.
Real quick on park projects, we don't really have anything, other than Cody and Eileen are planning an event down at, Fort Ashby Fairgrounds. We're gonna try to do like a festival of lights. We're calling it Frosty's Forest Fair. They're selling spots for decoration and then they're gonna have a festival of trees and they booked a lot. We've already got a title sponsor,
So
Whatco.
you drive through,
No, we're gonna do hay
Walk
rides
Hay
and
ride,
walk.
yeah.
But we have kind of talked to Troy. It sounds like the school board definitely does intend to Fort Ashby and Wally Ford, those parks to come to the county. Obviously, we haven't signed off on that yet. However, we are.
Is that with the ground also?
Well, it's definitely a long-term lease at the very least. So, we've published that event as a fundraiser for those parks to make improvements to
and
them.
when will that start?
What's the date of that?
19th, 20th, and 21st of December. It's the weekend before Christmas, right? Yeah.
And they wanted that was wrong.
But we need actual help, so we'll probably be getting, Dutch is already helping.
Yeah.
But we're gonna need actual help there. There's a lot of stuff going on, so once we get a better idea of what's going on then. Oh, and then, I need you all to formally approve the amphitheater to go out for bid. The people at State Development Office approved the bid package and the ad, so,
You want that now?
yeah, I need that now.
I'm moving that we put the
Potato out for bid.
figure out the bid.
I'll second that, and I approve that also.
And then I sent you all invitations for the dates, of like the walkthrough, the bid opening. The bid opening I sent to Lauren for, it's just at a regular commission meeting, and then the construction. Like the pre-bid, which you don't have to come, but I figured like Dutch is usually interested in that stuff, so I sent it to
What
you.
is the date on that Frosty walkthrough?
19th, 20th, and 21st of December.
19th through the 21st, and what time?
It's 5 to 8 every.
5, yeah.
When's the, did they set a pre-bid meeting on that?
Yeah, I sent you guys an email with a list of them. I'd have to pull it up here.
Yeah.
Again,
I missed that one.
let's see,
13th.
13th.
Well, November.
Wait, you're good.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody local that you know of that might be interested in bidding that project, I'd be glad to share the information with them. In case they don't catch it other ways.
And what time is that meeting?
10 a.m.
Here?
No, it's at the Lorenum.
Oh, it's out around.
Yeah, I sent that to you on Thursday at 12:40.
Unless there's
What's the
snow or something.
13th, 13th.
Reconsider.
Well, hopefully there's not snow.
What time? 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yes.
See, can they or yes?
And then the bid deadline, which all of this, I sent the legal ad to the paper already for publication this week, knowing I could pull it back if you guys didn't approve, but. The bid deadline will be December 3rd at 4:30, and then you guys are gonna open the bids that day at 6 at your regular meeting,
Okay.
so. We shall see.
Okay, any update on health department facilities, mobile unit? Do anything to
Mobile
update?
units in.
Just has to be detailed, right?
He's checking with Felty out here to get the wraps and stuff put on. I think it's pretty nice. Got two beds, examining beds in there and it's a pretty nice unit. And, the building is, I don't have my phone, I'm having trouble with the emails, but the building pre-bids goes out. Is it this? No,
The pre-bid meeting is early November.
no, the first bid is in October. And it's October, the end of the last week of this month,
It's next week.
next week. I can't remember the day. I don't have my phone. So much for putting stuff in the phone. Can't get the email.
I'm looking here, I've got it in my calendar, and put it in here, but I didn't.
Well, so we also got the
I got it.
state check for the second half of the mobile unit, 232,000. And then we also got drawn down, I wanna say 11 for the health facility. It was only like $3,000. So there's a 3-day turnaround. Now that we have those checks, we'll get those processed.
Now, the mobile unit will be titled to the county commission, because you
Yeah,
guys
oh,
are
yeah.
sub grantee, or the grantee. I've already added it to the insurance, they've not gotten back with me, but that is definitely, we'll be receiving an invoice when they confirm that it's been added, and I'm sure that will be relatively substantial. Because the replacement cost of that unit's $530,000, so.
What about the other van that you got to, that you got into insurance?
It is not titled to us yet, it's still titled to the insurance, it's still titled to the state.
Will it be cheap? Should it still be under our insurance?
Now, that van, it still says West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources on it. I think at some point they go to the counties, but I'm not sure how it's gonna work.
Like the state's covered.
Yeah, the state was covering it. Yeah, because it's not actually ours, like the state could come and take it if they come. And then the salesman accidentally, not that you guys care about the details, but the salesman accidentally took the certificate of origination for the vehicle with him when he left. So we've not got a tag yet. They're supposed to be shipping that back, so I can go get tags on it. The pre-bid is November 6th at 1 o'clock for the health department annex.
Yeah.
And then we're not doing the bid opening until December, and we just scheduled it for a meeting, a regular meeting as well. November and December are horrible months to be doing this kind of stuff, so we left.
So we gotta get it done.
Right, so we left, well, but that's why we left plenty of time.
And that meeting's gonna be out of the health department? Yeah.
And again, the pre-bid's not necessary for you all to go to, but you certainly can.
Is that the same day as the round pre-bid or the round bid opening?
No,
No.
Lorenum is the first day before.
Yeah, no, or the bid opening, are they both on the same commission day?
Oh, I don't know.
Not that you're gonna see the same bidders potentially, but
The bid opening, no, I think for the health department project, we actually waited till the 18th.
okay, so it's one thing.
Yeah, so we-
Okay.
Yeah, since it was a little more complex.
November 18th?
No, December,
December.
For December, yes.
because with the week of Thanksgiving in there, they didn't wanna,
That's okay, that's, we changed the commission meeting that day.
the 18th is that Wednesday.
Yeah.
They don't know who we're planning?
Don't really have much other than, Eileen stepping down and, talked with Tara about somebody from her group being on, and she recommended Brian. We have a meeting tomorrow night here at 6 o'clock, and I would imagine the plans are to discuss our next round of applications, which would probably be, I'm gonna tentatively say probably beginning of November, we'll open for applications. And we'll put a schedule out.
Now, you all are taking care of all the progress reports and that stuff, right? And just telling us when you get them, or what's the,
Well, they were sending them to Eileen, so now we gotta figure out who's gonna be the secretary and receive all that stuff.
Have we got copies of the apps to cut those last distributions? I don't think, have you given those to Cindy? For that, copies of the apps and get the information that we need to issue the last two checks.
No. You mean the last two checks in the first cycle or the new checks for the second?
The two that was approved, the 20,000 for 3D and
The newest ones. So he signed a contract, but I think we wanted a different contract with her.
Yeah.
So he hasn't gotten a new contract yet, so he has to give in some invoices before he gets any checks.
Yeah.
yeah, because then we're gonna need information of Doug and I stuff before we can set them up as a vendor.
Yeah, I'll send, that to Margaret, and I'll her now to get that.
And, yeah, my bad, I dropped the ball there to get in with Luke about redoing the contract for.
Yeah, you talked to me briefly,
Yeah.
you said you'd send that stuff, and I didn't write it down.
Yeah, and I've been busy.
Well, I have public task. I can. Want to put that in.
Okay. Flag and seal contest entry review and winner's selection.
So Nate has been made aware, Liz just did a nice little piece on him, it's on the front page of the paper, I see it digitally, so I don't remember which day it was, is it today? Okay, so it was on the front page with the new seal. I did order his flag, it will be here the 30th, so we'll have him at the next commission meeting, I guess.
Okay, with Nate's picture in the paper too.
Not sure if it was on the website. I haven't seen the actual paper.
It's just seal on the paper, but yeah, his picture was on the website.
You put seal on your emails.
I did, and I sent it to all the elected officials in case they wanted to use it for anything, and then I did order a new sticker for there, but there's some. Other places that the stickers were way more expensive than I remember them being solid one. But, yeah, I felt like it needed to be there since that's what everybody sees. But yeah, his stuff will be here, so we'll recognize him at the next commission meeting by presenting him with that.
Okay,
flag.
perfect, thank you. Okay, update on Count Ridgely, the ongoing issue with the property. Well, it's actually, they gave them, the DEP cited them, gave them so many days to repair it. But,
Yeah,
Is that, wanna stay
I-
on? Get off the agenda or?
We can take, I think we can take it off the agenda. I was by there last Friday and cleaned up, it didn't look like anything changed to me.
okay, Mineral County Preventive Resource Officer positions, sheriff just came in.
Yes.
So I guess this question is really.
You all are gonna talk to. That officer and see if he's interested.
He is not interested. He told me he was interested at one time. He is not interested in doing it now.
Well, I don't know why he keeps telling two different things, because I talked to him on the phone and he said as long as he could stay civil service, he was interested.
That isn't what he told me.
So I don't know why he keeps telling two different stories.
I don't
So what
know.
do we do about that?
Well, it's a moot point then. If he doesn't want it, then, I mean, it's a moot point. I mean, you just don't have an officer to put out there.
Well,
Do you have any other options?
I'm barely getting people to apply for regular deputy positions, and it's hard to find somebody with 2 years experience that wants to come off the road and go into a pro officer's position.
Pro officer would actually be easier though, right? Or not?
It's a different kind of work. You're still doing law enforcement work, but it's a different style of work, and it takes the right person to be in that position, to be able to deal with the situations that you come into in that school. I mean, you wouldn't want to take somebody out on narcotics task force and throw them into the school. I mean, they're used to a more aggressive approach.
there's something worth saying, think about too. I had talked with Lauren about some information. We had discussed it when we was here last time in our work session about possibly making the PROs civil service deputies.
Yes.
And, so Lauren gave me some information about salaries and the difference in salaries. I also had a conversation with, two PROs. One was interested in, it would like to be a civil service. The other one isn't real sure. But anyway, so basically the salaries of a civil service is roughly 46 to 48,000, depending on their time of service. Plus their benefits comes to us anywhere from 64 to 68,000. If we make them civil service, they'll get
You
a
mean 6,400?
64,000 per year.
That's
Plus
the total with salary.
total.
Salary.
Okay.
Salary plus benefits,
Okay.
64,000, 64 to 68,000. If we bump them to civil service, you're looking at, well, just the base pay for being civil service, once they're certified, which they are certified, because they already have to be on the road for 2 years, or be a deputy for 2 years, right? So,
We'll be an officer anywhere.
yeah, so any of them would go in being certified. Their base salary would be 50,000. And then the salary plus the benefits would be 73,000, so you're looking at a five. Well, and then whenever I've kind of figured in the years of service, you're looking at about a $8,000 to $10,000 salary bump for each PRO.
That goes into civil service.
That goes into civil service. The big thing that I see is the retirement. There's a big change in retirement there.
9%, 17%.
Plus, come to find out, I didn't know,
Deputy retirement, 17% employer contribution.
plus, a couple things I didn't realize. As a PRO, they're getting paid school salary, but they're only getting paid 180 days or 181 days or whatever it is. So then they're off in the summer and they get paid extra if they work the,
That extra pay was being paid out of a grant. They don't even know if they're gonna have that this
yeah,
year.
they're not, I talked with Troy, they're not even sure they're gonna have that grant
Yeah.
from here on out to be able to pay them to do that. The other thing is they don't get any benefits as far as like building up sick days and building up vacation days. They don't get any of that through the school. The school works with them on comp days. They get so much comp time a day, I think 1 hour a day. And it just, if they work a ball game, they get comp time but the school works with them that they get basically time off when they need it. So it would be a big benefit for the officers if they became civil service. On top of it, they would have the civil service would be able to back them if there's any trouble. One example that I got was, if a guy has a trouble with a kid and he grabs hold of the kid, and then the parents want to sue him, then the school board, he doesn't feel like the school board or the school would have the ability to back him and help him, whereas civil service would be able to help him out with those kind of issues. That was the example he gave me. So we're looking at, if we got another PRO, we're looking at roughly an extra $40,000 a year in salary and benefits for the 4 PROs. I talked with, Troy about how they reimburse. And if we made them civil service to where we can use them on the road as well, is that gonna be a problem with the school as far as reimbursing us? And he doesn't feel that he has any issues with, and he doesn't feel the board's gonna have any issues with continuing to reimburse us down the road if we would put them in civil service. Now, the discussion didn't really come up because I didn't know the numbers as to if there was extra salary in there, if they would pick up the extra salary or how that would work. I think it would call for a meeting between us and the school board and.
I think it would have to be somewhat prorated that they pay for the days that the officers are actually in, for the 180 days that the officer is actually in the school.
I agree, and like I said, I think that's where,
Which is what they're doing.
I think we need to sit down with the school board and the superintendent and come down with a hardball number as to what they'll reimburse us with and how to increment that with salary increases through the years. That's just something for y'all to think about. I don't know that we want to make a decision on it today.
What is the
No.
process of having those officers become
Well,
under
I-
civil service?
I think I just gotta meet with civil service and they would have to establish something as the civil service. This is what we're gonna do. Whether it be, some type of exam that they would give them or whether they do an oral exam, an interview type thing and then just move them in.
So it's not complicated.
No, I don't think it would be complicated at all, but, I mean, it just takes a little bit of time.
So the person that was offered the job at Towson Middle School and then turned it down, I was told that they, one of the reasons they turned it down was because of no civil service. Do you know if that's true or do you know if that if they.
No, the person that was offered the job just didn't want to, have made the decision, they just didn't want to leave the road.
Okay.
They only been on the road 2 years and they really liked the job and they didn't think now was a good time. They still wanted to pursue what they was doing out on the road whenever I talked to them. Because I was the one calling them offered and then, they called me back on a Saturday and said that they had considered all their options and after talking with their family, that they decided that they would just like to stay on the road. Because the money wasn't an issue and the civil service wasn't an issue. It was just their desires and what they were looking for at that point.
So do you have plan B?
Guess do we want to re-add?
We can re-advertise again and retry,
I mean, you think that's the best route? Guess we gotta do something, right?
Yeah, I think so. Just re-advertise, see if we get something.
There were a couple other deputies that showed some interest.
but again, when we come to them about make that one position right at this time, not all of them. When we come just about the one position right at this time for the one officer. He told me even after the last meeting. That when you called, he would tell you, well, if I can stay in civil service, then I'm all for it. So I don't, but he never did call. He said he was gonna talk to you and call me back and he never did, so.
Yeah, I talked to him and I told him, if you stay as a deputy, if you stay where you're at right now and just moved you up there.
And
He,
he flat out told me the day after the meeting, absolutely, absolutely. So I don't know why the two different stories.
I don't know either.
So, but, I don't know if the other one would still be interested in or not. I will talk to him. That was more what he was leaning towards anyway, with his future.
Yeah, his pay wasn't as different.
Yeah, his,
Now, do we have, any pressure from the Board of Education to get this position filled?
the teachers are really blaming to the school board about not having the PRO out there. John's, I've talked to John, he understands our position, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't put horses in the race if you ain't got any horses, so he knows that we're trying. I told him we had spoken to him, of course, Dutch has been speaking with them, so they know we're trying. It's just, lack of enthusiasm. If they were civil service positions, then the sheriff could direct and just say, okay, you're going out there until we find somebody. Now, that doesn't work out good either, because you're forcing somebody to go that really doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And then your chance, so if you got somebody in your department that wants to do that, then it makes it much easier, so. I will talk to the one who showed interest, but again, he didn't want to leave the civil service either. So that was his position.
I'll back up here a minute. That's something I just thought about too. I don't know if we can offer PRO civil service position and then others that don't want it wouldn't have to take it. I don't know if we can do that or not.
Well, that's what I mean, just go and say, hey, we're gonna have this position open, anybody that's interested. You know, put your name in the hat.
Yeah, so cause there's a couple of them, they got all summer off. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, because once they commit to civil service, they're expected like during Thanksgiving break, they're gonna be on the road, they're not gonna
Right,
have
yeah,
the week off, summer.
exactly.
Unless they take their vacation,
Yes,
you know, so it's all,
Pick up the extra money for the civil service.
well, that's
Well,
what
that
I
was what
was, that's what I'm
But
trying to
the
talk
thing-
about.
The difference between the salary, between the pro and the civil service pro is that they would be working for the county the week of Thanksgiving, the week of Easter.
And
throughout
some.
the
and some,
Some.
they would still be on the
So
schedule in
your
the summer.
difference of pay is actually for what they're gonna be working when they wouldn't be working as a pro.
And that was one of the things JJ talked about, though, if you had the pros during the summer, you could cover a lot of vacations without.
Well, as far as the county is concerned, it would be great, but as far as the employee,
Yeah,
he doesn't get all those good days off.
But if
Right.
they choose not to be civil
I
service,
mean,
then they would.
the good thing behind that is even if the school board only reimburses the 180 days, that's still at more rate than what the county's paying, because they're getting paid, starting out, first year, 46.8 for 180 days work.
Yeah.
So that's a majority of your year's pay is already supplemented right there. And then if, you know, if the county had to supplement the rest, because they're also paying the benefits in that 46.8 too. So whatever raise in salary would be that few thousand, and whatever raise in benefits from that 46.8 would be the difference in your pay and not the complete amount. So it would benefit, but again, is we can find.
What stinks about this specific position we haven't filled is it's the grant funded position. And we only,
Moved back down to Frankfurt again.
John wrote the programmatic side of the grant specific to Kaiser Middle School with Fraley's qualifications. So I've got to look at that, because John and I talked about it back in early September, and we kind of thought we'd have someone. So I'm gonna have to figure out what we can do, because it's not as easy as just moving schools, because the programmatic side that he does is the performance measures are specific to Kaiser Middle. So for that grant year.
Could we possibly take a PRO and like maybe the one from the high school come down for a day or two, maybe the new one from Frankfurt Middle come up for a day or two?
Well,
just to
he's the
cover that
one,
school?
rumor has been coming down to the middle
Okay.
school and the elementary school and the VOTEC when they need him, and coming down and making some checks and going back up. I heard, but you know, he just can't be there full time.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm hoping, I need to look, but I only do reimbursements for base salary. And there's one benefit that's easy to calculate. I don't do all of the others just because it's simpler and there's enough there that we always get full reimbursement. I can probably go back and pull some of the benefit reimbursements and hopefully fill out the whole grant from last year. I need to talk to.
But I will contact the other deputy who's interested today. I just, again, get to that one position right now and not the other three. If that person is gonna be eligible to, if you're gonna allow him to stay in and let us backfill that position, that's the only question. I don't want to pull a deputy off the road and then, well, we're not gonna refill that position. Now then we're three short.
I don't think we have a problem filling the position. Well, finding someone to fill the position is the issue.
Yeah.
As far as we are concerned, you know,
Okay.
I don't think there's a problem with us.
Okay,
But
that's all I need to know.
But like finding-
The other person that was interested, he's been doing his college classes and stuff anyway and leaning towards a position like that anyway, I believe, so. I will check with him and see if he is still interested, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, that was another one of my biggest concerns. You're already short in deputy staff anyway. And we're robbing from our deputy staff to fill positions someplace else. We're basically robbing Peter to pay Paul, and, you know, even if we hired two or three guys today.
Oh, yeah, we're not getting them
Pretty
in.
Good.
They're not getting into January 13th. And then when 16 weeks after that, they come back, they're gonna do their 3 months road training and that's what I was talking about the other day, being too short all the time, even though those two deputies' positions were filled by the time we got them on the road. And then by the time there was some disciplinary action, we only had them for like 5 or 6 months, and we really never even got to see any benefit. So,
We're taking applications again, the deadline's the 31st of this month.
For deputies?
yeah,
We've had a couple people brought them in like throughout the year, but since the ads have come out, I haven't had any new applicants come in.
It's amazing.
we used to fight for this position. I remember going testing, they'd be 100 people,
Yeah, I remember I do.
and
What's happened?
it's the whole national defund the police, and the police are the bad guys, and the bad guys are the good guys now, and people just don't, who wants to take a job that, I mean, it's not bad in this area, don't get me wrong, our citizens support us, and we're really lucky here, but in other areas, they see this news where officers are being sued and losing their houses, and because they touched somebody wrong, and don't get me wrong, there's been some incidents where officers need to be prosecuted, because it's just like any other profession, there's a bad apple everywhere. But who wants to risk losing their home and their freedom?
But everybody, any company is having trouble getting people to work.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Well, and double that. I mean,
Yeah.
you got people that don't want to work already, and then the ones who may be good that you would want in this job say, I don't need that headache,
Yeah.
you know?
And the shifts suck, and you work every holiday. and you work weekends.
Yeah. You break bones and
Thank you.
get spit on, and but
Thank you.
we'll see what we can do. We'll try to continue to go and put the ad out again, and but
All right, keep our fingers crossed.
yeah,
Okay, the next item on the agenda is sheriff department cameras. So is that cameras, body cameras, that car cameras?
that was both. That's where we was talking about both. We did find out that we got a $51,500 credit
Credit?
that would go towards.
To be honest with you, I really like that proposal that Roger sent us. I know it's expensive, but you stretch it out over the 5 years.
Yeah.
They replace our cameras in 3 years.
No interest.
So would the
Right.
51.5 come off the 250 then?
Yeah.
No, 51.5 would go to US Bank
Oh,
to
yeah,
pay off the old.
we owe 40 some
We owe
thousand.
$44,147.60.
So the money's already there to pay off
The original.
the original ones from 2018.
Okay.
And
We'll get 3,000 left over.
So your
Yeah.
payment's just $50,000 a year for the cameras, basically.
Right.
which we're already paying what on those?
The camera's 22,000.
Now, is that $250,000, does that take in the cars and?
Cars and the body
That's
camera.
all new cameras for the
And after
cars.
3 years, they
Then
replace.
in 3 years, they automatically replace the body camera.
Yeah, it's all the body cameras and all the car cameras. And we need, okay, so
Well,
we
we want,
already need 5. We have to buy 5 car cameras anyhow.
right,
And then I think we have a few body cams that are bad.
you're right.
That are not uploading.
Well, we need cameras for the 4 new cars, then we got cameras in the old cars that are just wore out and broken and non-repairable. So by the time we replace those, we're,
So if you add the price, if you calculate the price for the new cameras plus replace the bad cameras on the bodies. Pretty big chunk, that's 50 grand right there almost.
And the salesman, being a salesman, says if you prove it like now, he'll knock off 55,000. So part of that settlement, he has
So that still
had that
brings it down to
55,000 discount.
that still brings it down to
250.
250.
250,
Yeah,
and it's 50,000 a year.
When would the first payment be due? I wonder if that's due immediately or.
but we were already budgeted, I had it at 22.
Well, that's what I was curious.
See, that's what I was looking, we're already paying 22, right?
yes,
So you're looking at 28,000.
extra. But then if you added, we had about four car cameras plus a few body cameras.
So what happens to all the old equipment? Motorola doesn't take it back, right?
No, that's, next year it will, they are no longer making parts for those. It's kind of like the going from the Windows 7 to the Windows 10.
Okay.
There will be no, there's no updates for them, there's no nothing, they are what they are, and if we can sell them to, if we got good ones that we can sell to a smaller department.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
On GovX,
Right.
that's up to us, but they don't do no trades
We could
or
do that,
anything.
actually.
I mean, I would think you could still get like
I would,
$10,000 off.
I would think
for
we
that
could sell,
lot.
the good working ones to some small department that doesn't have a whole lot of
Well,
money.
there's probably sheriff's offices in the state that don't have body cameras.
I mean, there's sheriff office out there in one state that we gave a cruiser to, didn't have money to buy cars.
Right.
Of course, I mean, they only had 3 deputies and their deputies only make $29,000 a year. So, I mean, that's how tight their.
So
budgets
what do you
are.
guys think?
I'll make a motion to approve the cameras.
And I approve it also.
Okay, did they have an agreement? Did Roger leave?
He left a copy of it with me, but it actually was just an estimate.
Okay, I will contact Roger and have him get that paperwork to you.
Okay.
And we appreciate that. Thank you very much. I mean,
Where's the new cars standing getting?
Roger has ordered the equipment, so we're waiting on bar lights, we're waiting on consoles, we're waiting on cages. All that stuff, so. Soon as vendors can get materials in. We can move forward, but, and of course. The new cameras and stuff too, because they're gonna have to be installed at the same time. So,
Okay, well, thank you.
well, thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Work.
Well, we need to keep the safety.
Well,
officers first.
And I know you're working, trying to help with this pro position. I mean, that it's just. Trying to find people, so.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's it.
I will get down and call this deputy right now and see what his position is.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Okay, update on general election 2024.
Okay, we will, be completing the public test from last Tuesday, not really sure how to put this list, but don't, I think confusion. So we had the Board of Education, portion of the ballot was on the screenshots, on the touch screens, it was on. They first had it scheduled for one screen, but I thought it was too small and it wasn't, reviewable, it wasn't very good for voters. So I had them switch it to 2 screens. In doing so, they forgot to make a change on the programming. So in our public test on Tuesday, when we went to read the machines, it wasn't catching the levy. Okay, so called the programmer, he was in Martinsburg, he came on his way to Wheeling that night, and he just had to fix the flash drive, the programming. We're all good, that night we tested them, they were fine, but we had to, recess our public test, and this was the first day that they had available to recertify. So after this commission meeting, we'll be going back down, you're welcome to come too, and, run the tests to certify. This is for the election equipment that is being used starting tomorrow for early voting. Early voting starts tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8:30.
And behind the courthouse.
Mhm.
Behind the courthouse.
At the courthouse, yes. Then on the 29th, I believe, is our public test for the election day equipment, which we've already have all the machines and everything tested. We tested them this weekend. And we have to download all the elections into them. So we'll be doing that here after the election. Like I said, early voting starts tomorrow. Other than that, I think we're pretty good.
Okay. Does any of you know about the Amendment 1 on the ballot? You don't know nothing about the Amendment 1?
I have not looked into it yet.
Amendment 1 is for assisted suicides, for people that's. And you wanna vote for that. Okay, because the way they got it wrote, I'm afraid this is what's gonna cause issues. If you vote for it, it's for your protection against that. It's the way what investigation I've done and found out. So you wanna vote for that amendment. Because
for the amendment. If you're opposed,
that don't make sense, does it?
That's the way the state likes to
But that's
work.
the way the state put it on there, so.
Okay.
And just like I reminded my wife, honey, if you kill me, you don't get the life insurance.
Is that what it's about?
The amendment says, Amendment 1, protection of persons against medically assisted suicide.
Yeah.
Summary of purpose. The purpose of this amendment is to protect West Virginians against medically assisted suicide. To vote in favor of the amendment submitted, darken for, to vote against, darken against.
See, we
That's
are,
confusing.
it is, that's, I think they deliberately put it on there.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, it's already illegal, but they put the amendment on there to make it part of our constitution, our state constitution. So then down the road, that would just make it harder to get rid of. Right now, you can go through and change the law and make it legal or for under whatever you'd wanna do that for, but whereas if you make it part of the constitution, then it has to go through another amendment change. And people would have to vote, you wouldn't have just a group of people in Charleston making, changing the law.
all of the things the state needs to fix, and that's a constitutional priority.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think right to life didn't, one I've been told, right to life, but that, well, I don't know if that's true, but I was told that.
Okay, as for the budget revision, I still do not feel comfortable with the numbers I'm working with. And I have this financial statement, taxes, your financial statements, everybody can look at that. But there were some things there at the end of the fiscal year, some taxes with the tax office had some taxes, they were put on, taken on. There's some other adjustments that were made there at the end of the year. And I just don't like, I wanna make sure when I do this budget revision for the actual, because of the decrease, that it's correct, and I just didn't like my numbers. So I will,
Regroup.
I may have it for the next election, next meeting because of the election, but I do hope to have it for the.
All right, thank you. Down in new business, West Virginia Department of Agriculture, assessor's certificate of compliance. I have a letter in front of me. To the Honorable County Court of Mineral County, the assessor of Mineral County, Joe Cosner, has completed the farm census of 2024 and has satisfactorily complied with the requirements of the Farm Statistics Law. She is therefore eligible to receive compensation from the county court according to Chapter 7, Article 7, Section 6C of the new Code of West Virginia. Congratulations. Thank you.
You approved that.
Yeah, the motion.
I second it.
And I approve it also. Okay, new sonic wall for courthouse.
Sonic Wall is a firewall. Global emailed me the one we have, the license is expiring and it's very old. They said we basically just need to replace it. He did not send me a quote on what the license renewal costs, but it's several $1,000s. He
Is there a
said,
separate one for the courthouse and the annex, or is it all one?
one, it will all be on one, 'cause it's all one network. Just connected by fiber, so it all will be one.
Okay,
It is one right now. It's not at the end. Yeah, it will be one.
but I just want to make sure whether we need one or two, let me just make sure.
Yes, it's all one, because the fiber, because the only part of that building that will have our network after the renovation is Cody. Everybody else will be Supreme Court network, and he'll just have a fiber that goes to a switch. Long story short, if we just buy a new switch, which is what Global is recommending, it comes with 3 years of the subscription you have to manage it, and it's $2,800. $2,831.89.
2831.
Yeah, 2,831.89. It's a very, very necessary thing. And you guys just approved the one for 911. I want to say it was 1,800 for 2 or 3 years of subscription. So,
So we have to have it.
oh yeah, we definitely have to have it. It's not really an optional, it is optional, but
Have a
it's
motion to
not.
approve the purchase of that.
So, I'll second.
Thank you. I approve that also.
Well,
Do you want to just go on down to phone system
yep,
location?
Let me find it. Okay, so this is something we don't have to do, but would be nice to do. We have so right now, all of the county facilities, with the exception of the extension service, the dog pound, and 911 run on what's called a PRI. It's basically a digital phone service from Comcast. It's an actual physical box that routes all the calls and things to the brain. After the renovation, obviously that physical piece of equipment and all of the phone equipment presently sit in the courthouse. There's an old closet down there outside of Jill's office. It's literally, it had all the Frontier stuff in it that we never cleaned out. It's just sitting on a rack in there. It's not climate controlled, it's not secure, not that the phone matters that much, but it's not secure. It's just literally in what most people would put clothes in. So I would like to move that PRI and the phone equipment into the courthouse annex, into that secure climate controlled server room. Obviously with that comes a cost. So for the PRI move, sorry, let me look here, because this is stuff they already did for family court.
Is this Advantage?
This is Advantage, yes. So for all of the move stuff, it is $17.95 plus $13.50. I should have added that up ahead of time.
We talking 1,700?
Yes, yeah, $3,145. Now, I don't want to be clear, anything could happen. However, yeah, it's $3,100, $3,145.
Then this would be moving the hardware from the courthouse into a climate controlled secure area.
Yes, that's correct.
And if you've seen where it is right now, it's not really in the best.
Yeah, with knowing electronics, I understand putting things in the climate controlled areas.
Well, that server room, it's gonna be nice to have an actual physical secured server room for equipment.
And everything in one place.
The amount of dust that gets pushed in front of mine
Yes.
because of traffic in front of it,
Yes.
I mean.
I will, I'll make a motion with that.
Second. I approve that also.
I also wanted to add,
I'll clarify that was 31,
$3,145.
everybody.
$3,145.
Everybody talking about.
Oh, 3,100. Why did I have 31,000?
Oh.
Oh, no, I would just say.
Okay, oh.
Well, that's where I started to have a heart attack when he's talking about 17 and whatever the other number was. And I'm like, wait, what? Fucking 1,700 or what?
Yeah, normally we don't get a bill that small.
That's what made me, my brain wasn't like, okay, okay.
One more thing, and this we don't have to have, but. So, in the family court suite, which I guess you guys haven't been in yet since it's been finished. There is a security office off of where security sits. There is a phone jack and a phone in there for security. However, there is no phone out where they're sitting the majority of the time. Which the way the desk sits, it really wouldn't have worked anyways. What we have in the courthouse, and I think has worked well, I assume, because I mean, it's what Adam uses every day. They have cordless phones that they just clip to their vest. It would be $500 to add the phone and repeater in the family court suite, but then they're able to carry that phone with them wherever within that suite. And you can add additional phones to it later, but it's $495. Again, it's not something we have to have, but it would be a nicety for security because they walk in the office to answer the phone or call out right now, which isn't the end of the world. There's windows everywhere, like they can see out, but it's more of a convenience than anything. That's why I wanted to ask, because it's not like something we have to have, but it is.
We
You
don't
said
have any extra
$500?
phone?
It's $500, yes.
But I thought, didn't you have an extra phone that you weren't using?
The cordless, yes, but the problem is you need the repeater to make it work, and there's not a repeater in that building.
So if there's repeaters and that, would Adam's phone work? I mean, if he went over there, then
I don't
how
know,
does that work?
I would think, but I don't know, I think so, because those we had. Cause there's 2 repeaters in the courthouse right now.
So what's,
And you can go
what's
in-
the distance on that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I feel sure just about anywhere in the family court suite, definitely anywhere they would be.
That's $500 at one time.
Yeah, it's one time. There's no subscription.
Adam has a quarterly
If
phone.
Adam's phone works in the annex, why wouldn't it just work off the same repeater?
Oh, no. I don't know that it worked. I thought you meant if we put this repeater in.
No. I was asking what the distance was on Adam.
She's asking if it worked now.
Oh. I don't know. I'd have to check that.
Walk over the annex and call.
Yeah. See if you can get this phone call.
Yeah, I'd have to check to see if that would work, cause yeah, we could just repro, cause I used to have one up in my office.
Let's catch that first.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cause we could add that in your town.
cause there's a repeater on the 3rd floor that helps cover the courtroom. That might actually reach over there. Oh, okay.
Because
Thank you.
court security's moving to the left side, well, right side of the courthouse anyway.
Oh, yeah, they'd be right across the street, I think. Okay, that's good thought. Check to
Okay,
see.
EDA resolution for 2024.
Hold on, you let me write this first. Check to see if repeater works.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the Economic Development Authority had their grant. They were pretty, not their grant, their audit, and they were pretty upset with me. Because. So their grant, I always assumed worked like the Emergency Management Performance Grant that pays parts of Eileen and I's salary. Where they submit expenditures and it runs on a specific year. Their grant doesn't actually have a timeline associated with it, like our grant is January 1, December 31. And anything we do in that time period, and that's when the reimbursement has to occur. Their grant is just whenever the state feels like putting the application out. And you just check the boxes that says you met it. And then they pay you whenever they feel like it, there's no like timeline on it. So as we've done their resolutions every year, I have always just moved the fiscal year up 1 year. And in the resolution, we allocate the funds for their match in that same year we're giving them the resolution. Because for example, the last time we did one was November of last year. Well, we can't allocate funds for the next fiscal year until March. So it has to be for that current fiscal year. So the most recent resolution we did was for the $31,818 for their match. Well, as the auditor is looking, he noticed that we only paid them the $22,000 from the previous year's resolution. And that's because there hadn't been an increase in it, so it wasn't something like anyone thought about. But they're going to have a finding because we didn't pay them the full $31,818, which technically, according to this resolution, we do owe them. I guess the options are to pay them the difference or to not pay them the difference. It's kind of a complex situation. It seemed to me like the auditor's going to give them a finding.
What was the difference in that amount? They already separated back here.
I can't remember. It's like $9,000, you
Yeah.
know.
But if we already made a resolution to do 31.
Yeah.
We just need to pay it.
And then,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, so that way too, because even though they're still gonna have that finding, which I tried to. If that were us, the state auditor was doing that, that would not have been an official finding. That would have been an unofficial don't do this again finding, because it's really not like a huge deal in the breadth of a multi-million-dollar organization, but they got a finding. But yeah, so I think that would make the most sense, and then it keeps them out of hot water for the future with their grant. But I guess they'll have to come out this fiscal year, right?
So
But, so we have that as fiscal year 2024.
Right.
So where do we drop the ball at then, or what happened
The
that?
timing,
Okay,
he said that letter was done November 23. We don't set the budget till March.
What's the amount? What's the amount again?
31,818.
is what it's supposed to be.
We
were
paid them
$9,000
22
short.
something. We'd have to look these at.
Yeah,
That was the first
do we have a
year.
motion to? so
Right.
moved.
I second it.
And the ball,
Approve it.
they had always been at that 22,000. It was the first year they increased and it just didn't.
So it was just a miss in our budget when we set up our budget that we carried over the
When we
22.
put it in the budget, cause see, we did
Yeah,
the budgets are done in March.
Yeah,
But like he's saying, it's not on a fiscal year, it's not on a calendar year, it's just,
Whenever.
whenever they ask
I
me.
think we actually need to take that thing out about fiscal year and just, we need to actually put the dates that those, that the grant.
Yeah, because we have 31,818 budgeted this year. We put that in there, but yeah.
all right.
So I will let them know that.
I see where you're getting at about being complicated.
Yeah,
Because I thought, okay, well, it's a calendar year thing, but that's what he was checking into apparently.
it's not a year at all. It's just
So what the
another,
solution might be that you make one lump payments instead of quarterly payments to that too.
yeah. The auditor did say that would be much
Yeah.
simpler if we just made one single payment. Because honestly, if we just made that payment shortly after we do the resolution,
Yeah.
and didn't do quarterly contributions at all. like
Yeah.
Budget 31,818, and then wait till they ask for the resolution and then just cut them a check for the whole thing.
That would probably approve that, yeah, I like that
Yeah.
also.
So, okay,
Okay, we're done with that.
yes.
Bid opening and possible approval for the high density mobile storage shelving.
This is gonna hurt and
Oh, it is. So I did reach out to 4 different vendors. However, apparently there is a, I don't want to call it a monopoly because those are illegal, but there are very few actual manufacturers of the product. So 4 people I talked to, everyone was very interested in asking questions. But then when they reached out to their manufacturer, whoever got to us first, which was AJ Allegheny Systems out of Charleston, gets the manufacturer's quote, and the manufacturer will not quote. For the other
Put it
people.
again.
So we only got one price. I did speak to 4 different people though, but they were all selling Datum products. And I even spoke to Datum directly. He really taped this. Datum directly, and they would not quote us. They said, once a distributor's involved, it's.
So there's only one manufacturer.
Well, I'd say there are more, but I didn't know, until it was too late, when the second person came back to me and said, I can't bid, there's already a contractor bidding. So this is, now this guy is out of Charleston though, he's local, he did come and do a site visit, he was extremely knowledgeable. He actually, pointed out a few minor issues, that I had to issue an addendum for, well, the specs are all we did. The addendum is just for floor. I told him that in the specs, all of the shelving configuration he's getting with you about. The only thing we figured out was the carriages, what's in the drawings. But let me just go this.
This is gonna be scary.
The, the floor, he asked who was gonna pour the rest of the floor. Because he thought the floor was indented on the beams. He thought those were 2x6s, but they're not. So there's gonna have to be a raised floor put in, which is in this bid. But the bid said, and I talked to him about, if he's awarded, you will work with that salesperson directly to figure out all the shelving heights and all of those things. So him and I talked about that very clearly. Also, we do have a $15,000 grant to help pay for this from record management.
and he's turning this up good.
Yeah, he is.
What is
Of course, he
it?
doesn't know what it is either.
Close to 85,000.
Is that what you're thinking?
Oh.
Okay. So, the lump sum bid for what we specified, which is hold on, what's the first height? It's like 7.5 foot, would be $62,560. Okay, to be clear, my all was not like, oh, it's super cheap, but it's cheaper than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And to go with a height of 102 inches, which is 8.5 feet, it's 66.7. Now, you're right, I should have called you over when he came. He did say he would absolutely not recommend the 102 inches, because then you have to have a ladder.
And that's
And you
dangerous.
have to buy an ADA ladder.
Yeah. that's-
And he said like you're in all of these rolling racks, setting up a ladder to get to the top 8.5. Now, we can do whatever we want.
I would not recommend a ladder.
You're getting 7.5 feet. Or let me tell you the exact height and the specifications. It's what you saw.
Cause yeah, there, all these people getting up on ladders, that's an accident waiting to happen.
And on the 102 inches, we had to check for the sprinkler coverage.
On ladder.
Too many ladders are in my office, we do it every day.
94.5 inches is the 62,560, or 102 inches is the 66.7.
Even at 94, you're gonna almost have to have a ladder, aren't you?
The 102, the only concern Tom has, he needs to check what the sprinklers can cover. Cause once you get to a certain height.
Yeah, I got on Tom, I said, Tom, there's enough space up there for a whole nother office, did you see how much space is up there?
Yeah.
There's at least now 30 feet above it,
What
I said,
was
why
it,
is it so low?
what was the total bid for the 7.5 foot?
62,560. And then the 102 inches would be 66.7.
We need to maximize all the space we can get.
And that does
If she's using ladders now, might as well go with the tall one.
66.
I mean,
66.7.
I'm different $4,000 per one that's foot, all the way across. every single
Right,
thing.
yeah, I mean, if she's not afraid to use ladders, I would recommend going with that taller ones.
And that does include installation and a subfloor, because they're raised about an inch. And that
8'6".
about the subfloor. Yes, I did.
Oh, 7 foot.
Oh,
7 foot.
so it'll basically be, it's not gonna be a carpeted floor, it's like a finished gray wood floor. And it will actually cover the entire area, not just under the walls. I don't know what it looks like, to be honest. He just basically said the finished option was gray, this is what you get.
So you recommend taller ones? Alright,
And we do have $15,000 to go towards that, so 50,000 is what we're looking at.
It scares me that you just said there's sprinklers in there too.
Well, there has to be.
I
some.
know,
It's not
but
optional. That wasn't on him, that has to be.
Tall ones and.
make sure we won't have any
Tom, make sure there won't be no issues with the sprinklers.
yeah, I already had to have him raise the roof of my vault because he didn't have it high enough to put my shelf.
I think we need to check with him, and then if it's everything to go, I'll move to go tall ones.
He'll be back available at 11, so I'll go catch him.
Yeah.
Is the 8.5 foot include the ladder that we need? That they need?
How much is the ladder?
How much is the ladder?
5,000?
She's not ladder, she says. I don't know, we'd have to look, I don't even know.
$5,000.
Yeah, especially if it's ADA.
Oh, you don't have to buy the ladders from the company, you can put whatever you want in there, it's just when somebody gets hurt, that's.
Oh, that's what I'm
She's
concerned
got
with.
ladders.
Yeah.
Good. From now on, I would recommend hiring tall ladies.
They can reach 9.5 feet in the air.
Well, that's why I always like Jack Bar and Mike Shay, like, hey, Jack, I'm like, will you
Yeah.
step up for me? And they just
Exactly.
reach up and get it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Cause it never fails.
That's a
It's always
requirement on your
top.
application.
And it's nice, this is a West Virginia-based company, they're out of Charleston, so.
Alright.
It is nice.
Okay, we're moving down to 911 budget adjustment and salary increase discussion.
We are really, I forgot all my stuff was in the same place, okay. So, 911. Obviously, even at budget time, I told you guys salaries still weren't where I wanted them to be, because we're still several $1,000s. Below everyone surrounding us. I shouldn't say everyone, Allegheny, Garrett, and Hampshire. So. I wanted to pay attention to our revenues for at least 2 quarters to see what would happen with the wireless revenues. Because at the beginning of the fiscal year, we had a nice surprise that the revenues increased and they were $15,000 more than I budgeted per quarter. And we've now had 2 quarters of that level, so that means that is our new regular cell reimbursements do not go down. So our revenues are actually $235 a quarter. And then on top of that, we paid off the Patterson Creek Tower. So that left some room in the budget. I really wanted to get dispatched to, I guess I should give you all these. To $20 an hour to be competitive, but I am just not comfortable doing that at this exact moment. So I can comfortably, I adjusted our revenue to 230 a quarter, which is $5,000 less than we actually see. And took out the Patterson Creek Tower payment. And, there was room in there to comfortably, very comfortably, do a $3,560 raise per employee, bringing our starting wage to exactly $19 an hour. That's much, much closer to where we need to be. They're at 36, so it's like 1750-ish. So this is much closer than where we need to be. Even with doing that adjustment, if you all look at the main page, I also added in the testing that wasn't previously in here, so that's off there. So this budget is accurate. That's still, without doing any crazy revenue adjustments or cutting from anywhere, there's still $14,000 space in that budget that doesn't have, like, that's not accounted for anywhere. So, our wireless revenues typically go up annually or at least biannually. And frankly, when we moved our salary to 36,000, the quality of candidates we got really did go up. So I'm hopeful that if we can do another increase, we can really get where we need to be, because like the candidates, we started having people come, but we had at least 2 and 1 we hired say, I'm interviewing here, however, if I get a call from Allegheny, just know I'll be taking that job. And the sheriff's office is finally where Allegheny is, they're where Garrett is, they're where Winchester is. And I think dispatch needs to be the same, not as the deputies, but I mean, competitive with those directly surrounding us. And like I said, I started with 4160 per person, and I just wasn't super comfortable with the numbers, but that 3560, I definitely am. And that gets us to $19 an hour, which hopefully will lead to such, I mean, we've got 2 open positions still. We had 3 people we offered the job to that, well, we had 1 come in for a second interview that we realized wasn't going to be a good fit. And then we had 1 that accepted the job and ghosted us. And then another that just wasn't interested anymore. So we're really hoping,
And there's plenty of money you think to give this kind of good.
yeah, the money is there. If you don't have people, the 911 center is worthless. We can have all the fancy technology in the world. But if we don't have people there to work it, good people, which we have some, actually, this is probably the best team we've ever had. Even our new people have stepped up and are doing incredible. But I'd really like to be able to do this.
I'm in favor of the increase. We have to start working on getting their salaries up to be competitive so that we.
And what we're gonna say,
It's $3,560. Which brings, which I know is a really weird number, but it brings the starting up to $19 an hour. That's why I did that number. 'Cause-
And that's across the board, same amount for
Yes,
everybody.
it'd be the same amount for everybody, yep.
What do you guys think?
if emergency come up down the road, are there gonna be sufficient funds to meet an
So
emergency?
that's something actually after, okay, well, so we're just gonna talk about the next thing too. So 911 has been, consistently carrying around $400,000 over year after year. And in our, that's with the capital plans we've been doing, like doing capital contributions. This year, we had plans to replace all of the heat AC units. And it said it's on meeting 4 times yesterday, and I need to quit saying it, but we have not been having problems with them like we were, after Royal Air did some changes to the engineering. So I do not want to replace those units right now. I want to wait. So what I'd really like to do is take $200,000 of what we've been carrying over and put it into a certificate of deposit for 12 months and just let that money grow a little bit. And that money I want to just continue to keep for facility upgrade purposes. But even with that, there's another $200,000 there. And our revenue is underestimated to a point where there will continue to be carry over.
I move we, support this amount of 36.50, 36.60,
3560.
35.60.
And that'll be effective November 1, I assume.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. November 1.
That's up to you
pay
all.
period.
She's looking.
Yeah,
That's good with me.
just in time for Christmas.
Can someone second that? I interrupted you.
I'll second him.
And I prevent also.
I don't know if it needs to go in there as
Okay, were you doing any motion on the CD thing?
oh, that's what I was doing. So I had Annette send me rates, which they have gone down. They are not 5.5%. So I would like to do 12 months, and the best 12-month rate she has right now is 4.05%, which isn't terrible at all. That's through First Rate at Charles Schwab.
Have you checked this regular? Well, Webco's not that.
I'd have to look.
Webco was paying 5% not long ago.
Do they do CDs of that size though?
They do pretty nice ones.
I wouldn't know, Roger.
I wouldn't know either.
I read about them a lot, but.
The only
I don't
thing,
know.
and this isn't me, bad mouthing local banks, cause I absolutely am not. However, my experience with working with the credit unions, trying to do commercial loans and commercial products is
They struggle.
they don't have enough understanding of the regulation around it, and it becomes a very complex issue.
I personally would like to keep all the money in one area, in one bank, just to eliminate confusion and.
Yes.
What's that?
I said, yes, thank you, amen, cause trust, I mean, you know how many bank accounts and stuff that the sheriff's tax office has to deal with? So,
I know Truist and Webco was the best too there sometime.
Webco's 3.5% on 12
They went
months.
down there.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't wanna, like, I wanted to bring it up today and just go ahead and do it because.
And actually, about 6 months ago, I went to put money in, transfer some money around at First United. It was like 4.1%. That was probably 6 months ago, 5 or 6 months ago. That ain't my money. It was a cemetery fund.
But I thought 200,000 would be a safe number to do. That still leaves
For a year.
200 in there,
Yeah,
so.
I approve that.
I second. I'll make the motion to do it anyway.
Yeah,
And that's 12 months with the Charles Schwab,
and I approve that.
I'll
That's
second or whatever.
4.1.
4.05.
yeah, that's First United though.
That's through First United, yes, through First United. Now we'll get with Annette and.
Okay, we're down to discuss approved Comcast BEAD application, letter of support. I've been getting emails from them.
So Comcast wanted a letter of support, same as Frontier. They didn't put together a pretty presentation, but it's one and the same. The letter is very generic. I literally just took what they emailed you all and put it on our letterhead. It's not a financial commitment. It's just you all saying you support their application. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, with it.
Have a motion.
And I make a motion to approve it and authorize the president to sign the letter.
Which I don't know why they were so last minute. They're usually much
Yeah,
earlier. That's irritating. Of course, it's hard to tell how many applications are doing.
and they sent the email last Thursday and they wanted it by the next day. And
Yeah.
I replied with, We can't
Because they
do
good luck
that. We
with
need to
that.
do it in a meeting and we don't have a meeting on Tuesday. Then they was okay with getting it done today.
Okay, county clerk financial statement ending June the 30th, 2024.
Do you have a copy of it from like people?
Yeah.
After the public test, you think we'll be ready by 11 o'clock?
For the public test? Definitely, yeah. 'Cause I have to bug out.
Do we need to just review this and approve it or? Lawrence, we need to approve it?
Yes, I need to have it. Actually, it did not meet the deadline, as I mentioned in the last two commission meetings, because it had to be in the paper by October the 15th was a requirement. And I just got this Thursday.
Okay.
So technically, really, I have not been fully through the entire thing myself,
Cool.
but I know Sheldon has.
So we can't really approve it today though, or do we have to approve it today? I would like to wait till
Yeah.
on the next one,
If we could do
at
that.
least
that'd
to
be
have a
great.
chance to review it. I haven't been sleeping real good lately anyway, so.
Neither have I. Last night I didn't, I was up. I think it's stress. I think it's stress. I think mine's stress.
Now, my stress doesn't come from which bank I'm gonna put my money in.
Yeah, I don't have that
I
stress
don't have
either.
that like Roger does, but.
I have more thoughts of, which bank can I go
No,
rob and get away with
You're, you're having some dreams of the night.
it? And then I think, well, I'll just wait till Roger's going and I
Yeah.
just go to his house and rob his mattress.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, right.
And it'd be easy to find the one that's all lumped up.
Yep.
Okay, Ryan and Perio photos.
Oh, here. Think about all your invested money.
Yeah, well, that won't be much of a thought.
Huh?
He's thinking it's more than one matter.
No, it's not, no matter. I know Liz knows about this and most of.
There was actually an article in the paper and picture.
Yeah, that picture right there, I'm gonna try to get a bigger and better picture if it's okay with everybody. Ryan Imperio went to school here in Mineral County, the Burlington area. I know his dad and mom, I know his granddad real well. Grandmother, his grandmother's still living, she's 97 years old. But anyway, he won first place throughout 50 some countries. He took a photograph of the eclipse of the sun there last summer when we had it. And he was in Texas to take that. And he won first place. He went to London, received the award. That's him, over in England. Well, he went to England. I'm not gonna say London, but he went to England. What I would like to do is get a nice picture of it and, maybe exhibit it here in the commission room and maybe get a little article for him or some kind. He works at the hospital, down in North Carolina. I can't remember which one it is. But anyway, he's down in North Carolina. Super guy. Just a super guy. Very, very, very intelligent man. So that's what I'd like to do, if it's all right. If I get your guys' approval, I'll take care of everything. And maybe get a couple picture frames and hang up and but that's an honor. There's only been one other person that's won it from the United States, and he was from California.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
I do too.
All right, thank you, guys. I'm in favor of that also.
Okay, you wanna do your reports while we start going over the bills and the.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Why can't I remember the attorney's name? No. The guy who's doing the mural. What's his name?
Tuck Hardy?
Yes. He caught me the other, what's his name one more time? Roy Hardy.
Or Wadley.
Okay.
Well, I think everybody,
So-
It's like everybody calls me Doug, so.
He
Where'd that
caught,
come from?
he caught me,
Middle name.
he caught me the other day and asked me about, well, to talk to me about the war memorial wall in front of the courthouse that he mentioned to you all.
Yeah,
I guess that's a Kaiser only wall, and he feels like it should be a county wall. The wall was moved from Kaiser down by the fire department up to here when they put the bridge in. So he did say that all of the names will certainly not fit on the existing wall. His recommendation was either to purchase a new wall or to put a second wall in. I have not got pricing on either because I wanted to make sure it was something that you all were supportive of, and I wanted to know which way to go as far as a second wall or a whole new wall.
I don't know what the cost of a whole new wall would be.
I don't know, but even a second wall, we're probably gonna have to extend concrete and stuff.
Yeah,
We could layout wise, like what.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking for your all's thoughts on this.
Thinking,
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that
we're
should be
thinking.
an item maybe for the next commission meeting.
Well, if you guys wanna talk about it, I just didn't know, because I mean, I can get pricing, I just didn't know where you guys, like, what your thoughts were. Obviously, it's not a decision for today, but.
it's probably gonna have to be a whole new wall, you think?
I would think we need to do a
Well,
new
that's-
wall, just, and make it big enough to,
Accommodate everyone.
yeah.
That's what
You
I'm
want this
thinking.
on the next agenda?
Yes, please.
There's no guarantee that I'll have that pricing by the next agenda, but I will work on it. Who would have all those names? Is there like an official registry of that?
Like,
He does have them all? Okay.
I think it was,
What we got, electric bill?
no, County Commissioner Association do.
Oh, they probably raise them.
Where's the best places to get I've never bought a headstone. I don't know.
I would call the guy in Piedmont.
Yeah.
Yeah, trustee Memorial.
question, did you guys also approve the budget?
Oh, I guess it is a new budget.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
motion to approve the budget, it was just a motion for the increase.
Yeah, but did you want to approve
Yeah,
that?
do we have a motion to approve this budget?
She'll move. I second that.
Approve that also.
Yeah, I'll trust State Memorial Company. Okay. I go Stonewall. Okay, you guys were at the Ambulance Authority and Firefighters Association meetings.
We were.
Their recommendation for that crisis money, which I should have known from the beginning, and have just done something with it rather than now I'm. gonna
Ask
be-
everybody.
So they want us to schedule a CISM class. I need to make sure that money doesn't have an expiration date, because there is no way. I started looking and thinking about it, there's no way I can have a class scheduled before the end of the year. It's November now almost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on pricing and stuff, but I just wanted to confirm, I didn't ask you all there, are you guys okay with the CISM route they wanted to go, just teaching that class?
And they were gonna use money to teach the class.
I personally don't think it's a good route to go, but I also don't have a better route, because we did this once before, scheduled the class, did all the things, and no one took it. But I don't know a better way to use the money either. That's my,
Well, I guess the question would be, can they get a list of people that would take the class so that we're not just wasting money?
yeah, I think a lot of it's gonna depend on date and stuff, but if that's the route you all want me to go, number one, I just need to make sure the money doesn't expire before the end of the year. Cause like I do need some, they didn't make back clear, cause they don't have to be January or February. But is that the way route you guys want me to go? It's just schedule.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think?
Yeah, just do that.
Okay, records management grant is due next week. I sent an email out to all of the elected officials, asking if anyone had any projects. The grant's pretty specific on what you can use it for. It's not like it's a big open. Krista asked for a second terminal, but I spoke to Supreme Court and they said no. And Chris already knows that. She was involved in that thread. This would be the first time I haven't applied for something, but I don't know what to apply for without.
When you go down today, can you let me know, because I might be able to I need a mapping table. I don't know if I can get a mapping table.
Okay,
Hey, Lauren.
The
okay.
one we have now, when you purchase it, I don't think we have room for it.
Yeah, you won't be able to purchase it till July of
Next year.
next year.
Then, well, but let me know when you come down, so I.
These fuel charges,
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
for
with-
one-time fueling?
Okay, okay, all over to the suite. Okay, yes,
So we
okay.
don't have to do every single receipt she takes, that
Okay.
officer's whole month. and
Okay,
copy.
gotcha.
Lauren, is there anything you need?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because I can't do it till July of next year. The one thing I'm thinking is, payment, for part-time helpers. I know once we're back over, once we have like the large plat scanner set up, scan all those old plats in. But then also with the genealogy society and the DAR, they want to help scan in the old marriages, the 1800 the
Okay.
marriages and the births and so forth. So, we've been repackaging them and we spent the money last year, year before last, excuse me. On that, when we went over and repackaged some of them, so we did get that project.
It's,
Okay,
So,
yeah, it's not too
I
bad.
think you can apply for how much salary for,
is it 10?
I think it's 10, 5 maybe.
Yeah, I'd have to look, but okay, so you want, well, I can do that, so scanning. Application to.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Scan, what all?
Old vital records and plats. Because pretty much anything else, like the shelving and all that, it's all gonna be in place by next July.
What year would this, like, what years do you know, like?
Oh, 1866 to 1970s.
And you do have people who are actually gonna help them.
They are very excited.
Okay.
When we did the project where we got some of the records from down in the furnace room,
Mhm.
and we put them in new boxes and sorted and so forth. They were so excited to see a lot of those older certificates, and it would be really nice, even with the DAR, when they're doing research on the genealogy, to actually be able to see a copy of that.
Should be able to, that application is relatively
Yeah.
simple, so I should be able to get that,
That's about the only thing, like I said, equipment wise, everything else will already be in place by service.
yeah.
Hey, you wanna tell you something? I read a statistic the other day.
So I'll work on that and get your, I'll do a letter and stuff.
Similar to last time. More.
Okay.
Because we didn't put those advertisements down.
Back to the commissioners.
Go ahead.
So ARPA, they just sent out the American Rescue Plan funds. I was just reading the final rule guidance and, confirming that our obligation, what the obligation rules were, because technically any money, not technically, it is, any money that's not expended or obligated prior to December 31, 2024, has to be returned to Treasury. So we only have 3 entities that haven't expended all of their funds. That's Town of Carbondale, Frankfurt PSD, and Fountain PSD. So I looked, what we need to do, I was hoping that the obligation, it would be considered obligated if I've entered it into the portal as obligated, which I have, but it's not. We actually have to have an agreement with the subgrantee that says it is obligated and that they will expend it in conformance with guidance, blah, 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 blah. So I sent out an email last week. I did not send you all the Fountain or the Frankfurt, but I did copy at least Dutch on Carpendale because I figured they would call him. And so I sent that out to the engineers last week. RK&K has gotten back to me with the scopes of work. I've done a draft agreement for the obligation and I dropped it off in the prosecutor's office yesterday for review. So hopefully at the next meeting, we'll have that review. You all can execute your side and I'll send it to the entities. So, because we don't want that to be lost. I need that to be on record. So those projects.
What about the uncomplicated?
There are no unobligated funds. There's,
At one point, we talked about like 20,000.
It's a small balance.
let me double check. I know that there was,
The state.
I can double check for the next meeting. Because another thing we have to talk about, I'm not sure what it'll be, we have interest earnings that have been, we're probably at about $10,000 now. That's definitely not obligated to anything. I'll have to check after we balance everything in the report, what the remaining.
Whatever you report you need from us to make sure that we're.
Yeah, no, I got a ledger from Cindy not long ago. Now we're doing so few of them that it's much easier to track. At the beginning, it was, we're balanced exactly as of right now. So we can talk about that at the next meeting. I'll see what the exact.
Our cash balance is.
Yes, yes. So, after they remodeled the bathrooms over in family court, the toilets weren't flushing correctly. So I had the guys run the power, I call it power snake, I don't know what it's actually called. And there was nothing wrong, so we bought a new toilet and that fixed it. Which led us to think that all of this time in community corrections, we've thought there's some bigger issue. And we've never replaced the toilet. But, maybe we should just replace the toilet over there. The reason I'm bringing it up though is because it's not a regular toilet in community corrections. It's a wall mount. And the toilet's almost $400.
If we need it, we need it.
Well, they've been having problems. I'm not saying it's gonna fix it, but I was sure that in family court, the toilet was not the issue. And they put a new toilet in and it's working. Of course, the toilet was apparently from 1991. So it had some.
What is it, toilets really go bad, sometimes people put stuff down in there and it actually gets lodged in that.
Chicken.
Yeah, you just never, you never realize it, never see it or anything, but.
So do you guys want us to buy a new toilet for community correction? Doug said he can definitely, him and Jeff can definitely.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
It's just a more expensive one, so I wanted to.
The motion or?
I'll make a motion, we replace the toilet and all the corrections.
I'll say.
Well, if this one works, they have another toilet that needs replacing too, but we'll see.
There might be values there, but then the debt behind it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it means. I'll get these up to you.
Okay, let's move this over to here. Already done that. Okay, the parks truck, well, not the parks truck, the maintenance truck. I'm picking up tomorrow. I've started looking for stuff for it. I don't know, I know nothing about this stuff. I found this ladder rack, which can apparently do 800 pounds for $404. Does that sound? Cause like then there were other ladder racks that were $2,000 and they all looked the same to me. I didn't know, but this one's $405 from E-Trailer, which is where I bought my fifth wheel from and it worked well.
What's its weight fast?
It says 800 pounds, which for what we're using, it's not gonna be piling steel on it, it'll be 2x4s and 4x4s and ladders and. Not just looking at it very critically. I know nothing about it, so I was just
What
trying
about
to find.
toolboxes?
Well, I've got a toolbox behind it.
This doesn't look like it has support.
It's aluminum, it's aluminum.
Aluminum doesn't have any support from the front rail or the back.
Well, the
rail.
front to back ones were definitely the ones that were $1,000.
Yes. Well, you get a lot more, support
But
there.
see, this is the only thing that.
Yeah.
It's just a little, yeah.
Yeah, that's such anything that's holding that up, right? You take, and I know what the guys wanna do, cause everybody does it, say they take a heavy ladder or a board.
And they
or
push
something,
it up on.
Lay it up on here at an angle and then just grab the other end and slide it up.
That's what they
They're
do.
putting a lot of force on the top of this, pushing it forward.
In no time, these will be bent.
Yes.
Well, I'll buy whatever you guys tell me to buy. I was just looking for the most cost effective option.
aluminum? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is that the type of toolbox you all were talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes on the bed rail. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, me too.
We have, so the F-150
How much is that?
has
480.
a toolbox on the back.
That's
Apparently it's got a lot of oil and stuff in it, but I'm gonna have them clean it out. We'll put it in there.
Bed rail.
And then I just gotta figure out how much space we
I
have.
know, that'd be-
It's 5 feet.
That's 5 feet. They'll be a little bit shorter than the tire bed of the truck.
Well, we already have, that's what I was just saying. We have a toolbox in the F-150, so I didn't wanna just like throw that out. I figured we'd put it in this truck and then I wanted something that would fit for the rest.
So what's in it? Is that one across the bed?
Yes.
Okay. You can put one across the bed and put.
Yeah,
one of
so
these.
that's why I thought the 5 foot. I don't think
Yeah.
that one's more than 1.5 feet, so I
Yeah.
think that would fill all the void space.
And how the ladder rack works with those side toolboxes?
So
They
they,
go underneath the
Okay.
toolbox.
Okay,
They're set up to where you can put them under other toolboxes.
so you guys want is there someplace I can just go and tell them what I want that would be reasonable? Like, I know I can go to Global, but I know they're also pretty expensive.
I tell you what, I was almost thinking the toolboxes are one of those that fits up on the rail and has doors on the side.
Oh.
That was my personal
Oh,
thought.
has the, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
They're a little taller.
they're a little taller. These, the problem is with these, you get stuff down in here.
Yeah.
And it's hard to reach. These are on the side, you have doors that open and you can access everything. Those are better, but they're, I'm sure they're more expensive.
If you were buying those, where would you go to buy?
Online or there's a place down Winchester that went up the boxes,
It's, shade equipment.
Shade equipment. Shade equipment.
They would have.
They would probably be. I would say, I like Global, but people down Shade Equipment are a little more knowledgeable of that stuff than what I think Global was.
He lived with like that. So,
Yeah.
so Shade Equipment.
Shade Equipment in Winchester.
Okay. We'll see. I'll try to get pricing. I mean, the guys can still run the truck until we,
Yeah.
it's not like the truck is useless. It'll have the bed liner and. But. Okay, see what else I got here. We did. Sea shelving. Oh, I think it's all got.
Good deal. Who wants to go next?
Oh,
I'll go.
well, sorry, real
Oh,
quick.
good.
I guess we did discuss this. Well, we discussed this in executive session because it was regarding retirement and then, so Eileen and I have been denied access to E EMSRS since the majority of our salaries do not come out of, 911. There are a couple of other 911 directors in the state who are in this boat. We all just wanted to start with a letter, to the retirement board. Because there are several 911 directors who are just 911 directors who aren't paid out of 911 that aren't going to be able to get into the system. And frankly, like I was cleaning feces and toilet paper off the grinder pump one Friday at 6 p.m. for 911. Think I deserve to be in the system. I worked 60 hours in 911 in the last 2 weeks. And Eileen does all of the administrative support for 911, plans all of their events, helps me with all the facility stuff, like it's just not a fair thing. I don't know that we do anything. But I wanted to see if you all would be willing to look through this letter and sign off on it to go to the retirement board, just asking that they reconsider their stance.
Yep.
That was all I had.
That doesn't seem fair anyhow.
No. Well, I think what they're trying to do is because there are some counties who would say, well, this custodian cleans the 911 center, so
No.
he deserves to be in the retirement system. And I think that's why they went the way they did. But initially, when they sent the paperwork to Kim, it was 50% of time. And then they went to 50% of salary, which there are several of us in the state that receive 0% of our salary from 911. Because Bill didn't receive salary from 911, Mark didn't receive salary from 911, it's never, the director position has never been funded that way. Well, the OEM director has always had control of 911, but there was a 911 director before, but.
I think when it was just another one director, it came out of that one.
Yeah, his did.
And the OEM.
Must be.
Right.
I saw
OEM,
that.
not general county, because they were.
Well, no, could be.
But David still reported to Bill, even when they had the 911 director.
Well, I don't know. Is her maiden, did she use her maiden name?
I don't know, that's what I'm wondering.
Who's that?
Oh,
Imagine
yeah, that was.
Is that her?
That's her maiden name.
Okay, that's my favorite one. Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't hear anything about she died.
Me neither. You know AK's
Oh,
wife, Dave?
yeah, we're gonna be on the special.
I didn't know that. What was his name? From,
New Creek, he lived at New Creek. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he went like, that's why he wasn't able to make it there.
Yeah. How old was he?
I don't know how old Tom was. I don't know the arrangements yet, I haven't seen them.
I don't think he really wanted visitation.
I don't know, yeah, I don't know what to have.
Oh, really? That's a touchy subject, visitation. You know, it's really hard on the family.
It is hard on the family, but
But it's also, like, my dad didn't want it, but I think that family and friends needed that for a closure.
Yeah, that's true.
Bills, did you guys finish your bills?
Yeah, I have a motion to approve paying the bill.
second. Oh, I was thinking you made it, so moved.
I'll second.
Right, I'm
How
gonna let you. I'm not-
about this motion to approve the estates? You need to sign that, that's a letter. Oh, approve the estates.
So moved.
I'll second that. And the exoneration.
So moved.
I'll second that as well. And
Where is this state? I didn't even see it.
oh,
You see the exonerations?
It's from-
yeah, he did. The one that's taking ours like that. That's all.
Yeah, right.
And like Judge said, we might have things, but the debt covers them. That's my son, he told me, he said, Dad, he said, I don't want you down and leave me a bunch of debt. I said, oh,
Oh, I knew Mary. Did you know Mary?
Mary,
Sure.
We got all price together for this and stuff too.
Yeah.
okay, while you're doing that, I'll go over my report. Since the last commission meeting, we were at the fire and EMS meeting, which all three of us were. American Legion to meet the candidates on the 15th.
For all of you, that's, you know.
No, just Roger and I. And then Dutch had something else he had to do, or just come back from Charleston or something. We were at the voting machine test. Roger and I took a tour of the chicken plant. We have nice pictures to commemorate that.
Yeah.
The cook did wrong.
And I think, the raw. They called us, the reason they wanted the commission to tour plant was there is some people wanting to curtail farming in the Hardy County area. And they wanted to show us that Pilgrims reaches a regional clientele, people that work there from all over the region.
22 different countries.
22 different countries.
And there's 28 different states that's involved with it.
Motorola sent you the documents for signature.
Did they send them to me or Roger?
You, Roger just sent there in your email.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be getting maybe one of those, I can't do nothing with mine.
Well, I started, copying the agenda and putting it in the body of
Hey,
the email. Is that
One
what
thing.
Jerry, that you said you put
Before you
it
leave.
in?
yeah, give me 1 second, please. I wanted to update you on something real quick.
Jerry, were you done with your report?
Yeah.
Condition.
Think so.
You know, Gary Shaw. All right.
I've had some phone calls, but they're not done for me.
This last meeting, I was at the, Mineral County Day planning meeting. It was on there by Zoom. Let's see, and then the
As Roger and I told him.
LEPC meeting, I was on there by Zoom.
Yeah.
Fireman's Association,
You could work there now.
Well, here, that's not going on for me.
didn't think to meet the candidates, early voting, had a planning commission meeting.
That's the Roger. Yeah, we had to wear
I
those.
was at Frankfurt Elementary School for the governor.
Did you go live?
I did.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
It's in. It's in.
Very-
There's also one, I spent yesterday, Sunday and yesterday,
Process.
I was on Zoom with the County Commission Association's fall conference
I know that.
meeting, or fall conference that they had. They actually had it in Huntington. But this time they offered a Zoom option, so I took that. instead of running all the way to Huntington. I didn't really have time to run to Huntington anyway.
But if they finish in six, they go home.
So but I was on there by Zoom
County being in the parade.
and then,
I've registered
I
GS.
met with the Attorney General, Patrick Morrissey, yesterday for a meet and greet at Country Road Pub. Did Roger have that one on his?
I haven't given mine yet.
Oh, okay. Roger was there.
At the countryside club.
Country Roads Pub. That's the way it used to be.
Oh,
And then he went to Royal and I walked up to Royal.
Yeah, to sign this.
It was kind of a short notice thing.
Yes, night before.
Uh,
Did you tell me about the governor?
Yeah.
Got a check.
Yeah, and the governor gave, Franklin Elementary School $100,000 for the playground.
And
Okay, where did that come from? Cause I've read the article, but they didn't say where, what the source of the funds were.
So does he have like a discretionary spending, like,
I'm sure he does.
Probably, but I haven't.
that's the only thing I can figure that it came from.
I'm sure he does.
I'd like our parks to get $100,000.
Yeah, I know.
Discretionary funds.
Yeah, that's the truth. I've spent meetings, was with Troy, talking to him about several things with the schools, the PROs, that kind of stuff. And I was actually in Carpendale's office when Luke sent out the email about the,
Okay.
but
I only copied you on that one, cause I'm like, I know Carpendale's gonna call him, so I'm gonna copy him on it, so he knows what's going on.
I was actually sitting next to the mayor's desk talking to her. And I just glanced at my phone, I seen the emails, and I seen the email from you, and I clicked on it, looked at it, and I went, hey, have you looked at your email? And she's like, no, and I went, you need to look at your email. And
Then you
they
did-
brought it up,
You
of
did the summer
course,
awards.
you had sent it, I guess
Yeah,
you,
on Thursday.
main center was to Mark at
Yes.
Eads. And I guess he needs to put that together. So we discussed it then, and I think it would be taken care of. I don't know if you got a response from him yet or not.
I've not got a response from him yet.
Okay.
He was he signed the invoices, so I assumed he was the engineer working it, so I just called down and got his email and sent it directly to him.
Yeah, and so so they moved it on too, although I think they also forwarded it to Mark, so he got a double notification on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I was sitting there talking to her about some other things, actually talking about the sewer project and stuff, and that email, that was great timing.
Okay. Yeah, I almost called you. I'm like, God, I don't see the email. I don't have a problem understanding. it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, hey, Lauren, I was at, Region Eight signing documents. I was also at on the tenth, I was at Region Eight Solid Waste Authority meeting on the 17th. I was at the firefighters and authority meeting here on the 10th. Of course, I was at that work session we had. Before we done the early testing. We also judged myself was up at judge the 911 judge. Yeah, I was with Jerry.
They judged the 911.
Fall.
Building contest.
Yeah,
Pumpkin decorating.
pumpkin.
And, of course, I toured the plant with Jerry. I had a health department meeting on yesterday evening, and I met with PAG. I was with Doug when we met with PAG yesterday also. And also, just to let everybody know, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but on December the 12th, Cody's been sworn in as judge at 2:00 at the courthouse in Lake Forest.
What time? December the 12th?
2:00, December 12th at 2:00.
Does his new guy start, does the new Charlie start next week?
Yes.
He's supposed to start November 1.
Like Thursday of next week, isn't it?
No, that's Friday,
Okay, what time is Cody being sworn?
2:00. There's something else I wanted to ask you.
And this is at the courthouse?
Yes, sir. We're in the courtroom. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you guys. Please don't put this in the table yet. But pressure's been put on me about we need to be in the Christmas parade.
Mission?
Yeah,
I know we were invited to be in the Tri-County parade.
yes, I'm willing to be in it. You know, maybe we can't dress up as Santa Claus, but we could dress up as Frosty.
Yeah, Cody just bought Frosty costume and actually
So,
Frosty.
Maybe get some for grandkids or kids that wants to be in it, grandkids.
Put them in the back of a pickup.
Put them in the back of a pickup or trailer.
You know, put Frosty back there with them. I'll drive, you can be Frosty.
I'll throw candy out.
I mean, I think it would be nice. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas, because I tell you, the way things is,
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that. I do have other commitments for the Christmas parade. I was gonna be in there on something else, but.
well, you go right ahead.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead, maybe we should get lined, could you get us lined up together?
Possibly.
Front and back, throw me like.
Who's even doing it? Roger asked me to register y'all, and I don't even
I don't
know.
know.
It'll be the city.
Be the city administrator.
Well, I think it's one of the council people.
Well, he can take
Jennifer
it.
Jenkins.
Is it,
Yeah,
is that?
she's out.
or is it-
Who is it?
Okay, Jennifer Duncan.
Jennifer,
Jennifer Junkin. All right.
so we'll kind of plan that, and if you got any grandkids that want you to ride the parade, kids or grandkids, either one.
Well,
Well, you got grandkids, and they start this on you, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do?
I think there's a word.
Well, we have county trucks and trailers, depending on.
Yeah, let's do that. I think the word
We
is,
got a brand new Ram.
Well, if you wanna use the county, I don't care.
yeah, let's do that. Or at least the name.
Can we get something made to where we can,
Okay, well, that's something.
You already bought a magnet.
mine won't hold a magnet, mine's aluminum size.
But the Dodge is metal.
Is it metal?
Actually, though, I was gonna get in touch with Felty to see how much these cost for vehicles. I would like to go ahead and put the,
Just get two for previous,
well, no, I would like to just
For
all of the
down the
county
road.
vehicles have a seal on them and then just under say what they are, like the,
Parks and Rec.
yeah,
or-
just have this, facilities,
that's
parks,
a good idea.
my truck, emergency
Yeah.
services, the Traverse.
I like, wouldn't mind having a couple.
I just gotta see how much it costs, that's why I haven't.
Get a metal one, see how much two metal ones.
To the magnets,
Yeah.
Do you have your report, Lauren?
I think I already talked about it, financial, my new employee, my employees came back, are awesome, so we're getting everything done.
Okay, is there any questions for us?
Yeah, think of anything right now.
Okay, have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
And retire down to the bottom of the courthouse, right?
Yes. We went down to where it is, that's good.
And then are you all gonna walk second floor?
I'd like to, if we
Okay.
have time.
Cause Jill wants to as well.
I don't know if I'm out of time.
You all have a good day.
See you
You too.